Welcome everyone to the second part of the chapter. So there are two kinds of respiration, aerobic versus anaerobic. So these are the points on which we are going to differentiate between these two types of respiration. So the reactants in aerobic respiration are glucose and oxygen, whereas in anaerobic respiration there is only glucose, because anaerobic respiration takes place in the absence of oxygen. In aerobic respiration, the end products are carbon dioxide and water, whereas in anaerobic respiration in animals, it is lactic acid, but there is no CO2 produced. In the case of yeast or in some bacteria, the end products are ethanol and carbon dioxide. Aerobic respiration produces high amount of energy, roughly 36 to 38 ATP molecules, whereas anaerobic respiration yields low amount of energy, which is 2 ATP. Aerobic respiration takes place in cytoplasm as well as in mitochondria. Mostly in mitochondria, we are going to see in the next slide. Whereas anaerobic respiration takes place only in the cytoplasm of the cell. Aerobic respiration is termed as complete combustion, whereas anaerobic is incomplete. Aerobic respiration takes longer time to release energy, whereas anaerobic respiration takes shorter time to release energy. Aerobic respiration goes through different steps. One of them is glycolysis. We are going to study this in detail in the next slide. Then link reaction, Krebs cycle, which occurs inside the mitochondria, and electron transfer chain, which also takes place inside the mitochondria. Whereas anaerobic respiration has only two steps, namely glycolysis, which takes place in the cytoplasm, and then fermentation. So here is a quick glance on aerobic respiration in plants and animals. You can study this slide, pause it, and you can take a look at this. So this tree diagram gives a good view of how respiration takes place. So let us say we have glucose here, then glycolysis takes place. So glucose is a 6-carbon molecule, whereas pyruvate or pyruvic acid is a 3-carbon molecule. Now once we at the pyruvate stage or pyruvic acid stage, in mitochondria aerobic respiration takes place in the presence of oxygen, right, through Krebs cycle and electron transport chain, which produces ATPs. Or in the cytoplasm where there is no oxygen, anaerobic respiration takes place. So after pyruvate we have fermentation, and we get end product as lactic acid, usually in muscle cells of animals, and alcohol and carbon dioxide as the end product in case of plants, right? So there are 4 parts of respiration. First is breathing. This is the physical process involving inhaling and exhaling the air, right? This is a mechanical process. Second is gaseous transport, which is very, very important. At this stage, the oxygen and carbon dioxide are interchanged in the lungs. So first step is the RBCs, red blood corpuscles in the blood, carry oxygen in the form of oxyhemoglobin via arteries throughout the body. Red blood corpuscles contain a protein called hemoglobin, which is attracted to oxygen, right? Secondly, carbon dioxide from the tissues is transported to the lungs via blood, via veins in 2 ways. A, partly as bicarbonates dissolved in the blood plasma. Plasma is the watery part of the blood. And B, partly in combination of hemoglobin of RBCs as carbaminohemoglobin. Correct? The third part is tissue respiration. Here the diffusion of oxygen from capillaries, which are 1 cell thick, into the tissues, and diffusion of carbon dioxide from the tissues back into the capillaries takes place. Cellular respiration complex chemical changes occurring inside the cell during conversion of glucose into energy. This part is very important, cellular respiration. So the diagram here shows how oxygen, you can see this O2 molecule, which is being carried by red blood cells as oxyhemoglobin, gets transferred or diffused into the tissues or cells, and the CO2 produced as a waste product from tissues or cells is being transported back into the bloodstream on red blood cells, which are carried again to the lungs. Where does the respiration occur in the cell? This is important, as we have seen before. Glycolysis. Glycose, an older term for glucose, and lysis means breaking down. So this occurs in the cytoplasm outside the mitochondria. As you can see here, this is a cell, and this is the yellow part is the cytoplasm, whereas these blue colored parts are mitochondria. So glucose, it is a 6-carbon molecule, is broken down into pyruvic acid or pyruvate, which is a 3-carbon molecule, which further breaks down into ethanol in plants and lactic acid in animals. This is anaerobic. Very little energy is released. The free energy released in this process is used to form the high energy molecules ATP and NADPH, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. You don't have to remember this as of now, but this is how glycolysis takes place. Now the second part, which is Krebs cycle or popularly known as citric acid cycle, occurs inside the mitochondria, which is the powerhouse of the cell, in which a lot of energy is produced in the form of ATP. This occurs inside the mitochondria. It is aerobic, that means it needs oxygen. Step-by-step breakdown of pyruvic acid or lactic acid to produce ATP and CO2. H+, that is hydrogen ions or protons, released in the cycle are removed through the oxygen supplied by forming water. Much more energy is produced in this case. Our body needs oxygen to remove H+ ions, which are produced in this step. So now what are the respiratory organs? So this is a flow chart which explains you the passage of air as we take in the air through nostrils or nose, and it gets into the lungs. So let us start with nostrils, nose. When we inhale, the air comes through nose. Then it is passed to the nasal cavity or nasal chamber. From that it is passed to pharynx. Then it goes to larynx or voice box, popularly called as Adam's apple. Then it reaches the trachea or the windpipe. The trachea is made up of 20 C-shaped cartilages which provide flexibility. At the same time, it prevents collapsing. Right? When there is no air, it prevents the trachea from collapsing. Behind the trachea, there is food pipe. So the windpipe is in front. The food pipe is at the back. Then the air goes to the left as well as to the right. So this is the right, as we are seeing the right part. This is not the left part. So right bronchus, left bronchus, right bronchus to bronchioles, then alveoli where the actual gas exchange takes place in the right lung. Similarly to the left bronchus, then bronchioles, and to the alveoli in the left lung. So majority of the gas exchange, that is CO2 and O2, occurs in the alveoli in the lungs. So here in the diagram we can see the main parts and the functions of the human respiratory system. Here you can see that there are two parts of the respiratory system, the upper part and the lower part. It is being divided by the larynx or the vocal cords. Correct. So the upper part, nasal cavity. Correct. It contains some cilia. It also produces mucus. The main function of it is to filter, to warm, and to moisten the air before it can enter the trachea. It also helps in smelling. So this is olfaction. Then sinuses. These are the two sinuses. Cavities in the skull. They lighten the head, warm and moisture the air. This is the basic function of the upper respiratory system. Then lower respiratory system, the main function is exchange of gases. Epiglottis, which covers the larynx during swallowing. The larynx, it is a air passageway. It prevents food and drink from entering into the lower respiratory system. It produces voice. Then there are two lungs. This is the left lung and this is the right lung. The left lung has only two lobes. This is to accommodate the heart, and the right lung has three lobes. So right lung is slightly bigger. Trachea, as we have seen before, it has 20 cartilages, C-shaped cartilages. Bronchi, the two branches of trachea, see, as we can see, inverted Y shape. So this is a trachea and these are the two bronchi. Bronchus singular, bronchi plural. Now bronchi then again branch into bronchioles, which are narrow passageways to conduct air from bronchi to alveoli. Now these are alveoli, which are numerous, millions of alveoli in the lungs. See, these resemble a cluster of grapes, and each alveolus is like a grape. You can imagine it is like a grape. Here it is very thin. The membrane is only one cell thick, so that gaseous exchange can take place in the alveoli. This is the diaphragm, which separates the lungs from the intestine and other digestive system. These are intercostal muscles which contract and relax as we inhale and exhale. Now let us see a few facts about human lungs, right? To accommodate the heart, the right lung is larger than the left lung. The right lung has three lobes, whereas the left lung has two lobes. There are numerous alveoli in the lungs to increase the surface area to maximize the gas exchange. So it seems pretty impossible, but the lungs were opened flat, then they would be so big that they would cover the size of a tennis court. Here are the dimensions of the tennis court. The air we breathe contains 21% of oxygen, but our bodies only use 5% of it. The rest is exhaled. So when we exhale the air, there is only a CO2. That is the misconception. It contains more amount of CO2, but it also contains oxygen. Remember that. Humans exhale up to 17.5 milliliters of water vapor per hour. Lungs are the only organs which can float on water. So this is a detailed diagram. This is the larynx. This is the trachea. You can see these red bands which are cartilages, right? Now these are the bronchi, primary bronchi, two inverted Y shape. Then there are secondary bronchi and then tertiary bronchi, which again branch into bronchioles. So the bronchioles look like this, correct? Smooth muscle, alveolar duct. This is the alveolar duct. These are the capillaries these are very thin. So the alveolar sac is being surrounded by blood capillaries, so the exchange of gases can take place through diffusion. So let us study the gas exchange between alveoli and capillaries. The blood coming from the pulmonary artery, that is from the lungs, right? As we can see here, this capillary. So now, as we breathe in, the air comes in, from which the oxygen is diffused from the alveolar membrane into the RBCs of the blood in the blood capillaries. And the CO2 is being given out from the blood capillaries into the alveolar chamber. So CO2 will be exhaled. So here we can see the change in color, RBCs carrying oxygen which are marked red in color. So this blood goes to the pulmonary vein for circulation.